Becoming a champion takes time. Trees do not reach the highest canopies overnight. It takes generations of patience and steady growth while the world revolves on. In Virginia, we've witnessed these ebbs and flows, and now there are a select few that have their eyes set on the skies. This last push towards victory will test all of the years of training, the lessons learned from failure, and the mindset to carry on even as life quickly moves past. Moving day at the 2024 PDGA Professional Disc Golf World Championships begins now.
Hello and welcome to round 4 of the 2024 PDGA Professional Disc Golf World Championships presented by Zuka. Day 4 of 5. This thing just keeps moving along. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the two hot geese.
Og.
And they all feel like moving days. There's a lot of movement out here.
Yeah, they do.
Especially at Ivy Hill. If you didn't watch round 2, what are you doing? Go watch that. Then come back and check this out. But it's a lot of movement out here.
Yes, it definitely is. Holyn Handley right now still leading the pack, 70% through round 3 in fairway hits, 50% of the time putting from circle 2. Insane out here to maintain that consistency at these difficult courses.
Eveliina tying it up yesterday with the hot round. She's 85% fairway hits, 81% C2 in regulation, and 69% C1X putting.
God, those are crazy stats. Those first two. Kat Mertsch, 77% fairway hits, bouncing back in the best way possible after round 3, or during round 3, 70% of the time putting from circle 2 in regulation, 81% of her circle 1X putts dropping.
Kat Mertsch, 7 strokes back of the lead. Natalie Ryan joining us on the lead card today. She's 8 strokes back of the lead, 71% fairway hits, 59% C2 in regulation, 75% C1X putting.
Hey, what's up everyone? I'm here to tell you that today's video is sponsored by Vessi. As you all know, Vessi is a huge supporter and sponsor of JomezPro, and they have done it again. This is the brand new Courtside Classic. They are a perfect addition to your Vessi collection with a sleek city urban vibe, and they got all the comfort, durability, and innovation that you expect from Vessi, which means that they are 100% waterproof, not water resistant. It has a padded tongue and collar for a feeling of effortless comfort. It's a perfect match for daily adventures in the city. So make the most of city life with vintage style comfort sneakers, the Courtside Classic. Discover this and more styles at vessi.com/JomezPro. There you're gonna find 15% off your first order. That's vessi.com/JomezPro, or click the link down below or scan the QR code on the screen right now. That's gonna get you 15% off your first order. You can get started today. What are you waiting for? Thanks once again to Vessi for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it.
Hole 1 is a par 4 at 663 feet. You are teeing off from out of bounds into this inbounds area. You can see the landing zone there. The biggest arms might get a bit farther. Risky upshot. Even if you land safe, big sidearm or maybe a turnover will get you there the way the drone is flying. You could try to sneak something to the right side. It probably won't get you to the pin, but it will get you a par, and pars are good out here at Ivy Hill. If you do not land safe off the tee, it's a mandatory drop zone. Optional drop zone.
The lead card. And teeing off first from Pirkkala, Finland, Eveliina Salonen.
I would imagine Eveliina's probably feeling confident out here because she tied for the hot round with Natalie Ryan on day 2 and Haley King at 5 down. She got the hot round yesterday at 8 down.
And watching her just shred those lines at Ivy Hill, those narrow fairways, this seems like it'd be a little bit more of a breeze, but this tee shot is an exception.
From Grapevine, Texas, Holyn Handley.
It's one of the more severe downhill shots that we've ever thrown in a disc golf competition. It's very weird and kind of a long carry as well.
It's really easy to do what Eveliina just did and fade too much. Yeah, you're right. We don't often have this much elevation to throw down to kind of a narrow landing zone.
Yeah, D-Glow has big elevation, but the OB is just not anywhere close to as punishing as it is out here.
Holyn going huge.
From Rosebud, Arkansas, Kat Mertsch.
Kat Mertsch yesterday went double bogey, triple bogey, and then went something like, I want to say
Eagle.
birdie,
Yeah.
birdie.
Yep.
And she got to 2 down on the round, which is wild after taking, what, 7 strokes in 3 holes?
Yeah.
Cool to see her out here. She definitely overturns this one. See if it has any kind of chance of coming back. It was trying.
Hank. From Richmond, Virginia, Natalie Ryan.
Natalie, hometown hero. She's from, I believe, Lynchburg. I know she's from
Is she
around
from
here. Yeah,
I knew Virginia, but wow, I didn't know the town.
Yeah, I think. So she's feeling really happy to be at home and surrounded by her support system here. I know she was very excited to play both of these courses. She favors New London as well.
Though she, again, tied for the hot round with Eveliina and Haley King out here at Ivy in round 2, so hopefully feeling some confidence. Here's Kat Mertsch from the drop zone. You're not going to see a whole lot of players, I think, attack as aggressively as Kat is from that drop zone, and she makes it look so much easier than it is.
Do we know how far that drop zone is? No, it says it on the drop zone T sign, but I can't remember. It's far
It's far.
and very uphill and a
very
huge
tight.
turnover. Yep.
Eveliina with a really nice approach shot.
I'd say every bit of what, 340, 350?
Yeah, yep. Holyn inbounds, throwing a forehand. I think this is probably what the course designers drew up when they were designing this hole, and that's a beautiful shot. Look at that swagger.
Yeah, Holland's got this whole dialed. She's pretty much did a mirror image of what she did in round 2. Natalie taking the right side gap, keeping it nice and low, getting some good skips up into the circle 1.
And if you're not super familiar with the format, Worlds is kind of special. We've had 2 pools this whole time. Today is cut day. The top 36 women advance after today, and then we will be coming back to Ivy Hill again tomorrow for the final round to crown a world champion.
There were 44 women in the C pool, but only 36 go on. So definitely a scary day here.
Yeah.
Kind of don't have a choice but to watch the scores. You're right on that cut line. A lot of times at Pro Tour events, we see a 50% cut, and the PDGA has really tightened it up. It's a 40% cut, I believe.
Yep.
Here, so it's significantly smaller.
Kat with a wonderful par save. Natalie with the birdie. Eveliina bogey after the OB drive.
Holyn tapped in birdie on hole 1. There's only 7 birdies today. I think Holyn was the only person to park the hole.
Checking in on the chase card. Chris Tatar, back-to-back world champ. Still in the mix. She's, pretty far, 12 strokes back of the lead, but you can never quite count her out. This course can have some wild swings. That was a smash of a drive. She's able to go forehand, second shot. Not a lot of women able to do this. Most of us throwing backhand, full power drive.
Yeah, backhand and forehand are both scary on this shot. Backhand, there's OB close on the left side. Forehand, there is a hazard bunker just deep of the basket.
And this is a pretty typical play. It's hard to park it because of that bunker that Madison just mentioned. You often leave yourself a putt on this one.
Kristen looking focused, hitting that edge of circle 1 putt.
Squeaks it in over the rim. Hole 2, one of the simpler holes out here. Not a gimme though. It's a par 3 uphill, 327 feet. There's a pinch point right here, so you can lay up and just try to take your par, but we are going to see all of these ladies attack up the hill. Usually you have to carry OB to the right before fading in. It's significantly uphill, so I would say it takes easily 350 to 360 feet of power, often on a pure hyzer, to get there. Holyn showing us how it's done. Gorgeous shot.
I think she skipped off the cart path last time as well. It's crazy to how that shot can be so dialed.
You don't think that's her exact landing zone? That patch of asphalt? She's going captain's thrasher there.
Natalie putting the disc higher, just like usual. She's always taking these aggressive routes, really trusting her disc.
Yeah, Natalie will be inside the circle as well. Kat Haynes went out very wide, trusting the stability. She also skipped off the path around too, didn't she?
I think a lot of people do that. I
Yeah.
think a surprising amount.
Mm-hmm.
That must be like right at like the quote unquote 400 foot mark for power.
For power.
Yeah.
You think it's 400?
I don't know. It plays far.
Yeah.
No,
Like
it's not 400.
Like 350, 360 is like pretty. 360. 5.
Yeah, it's 370
375.
minimum.
Eveliina
Wow.
skipping past the cart path.
Another bullseye. Bouncing back from hole 1, going to get back to even par.
And everyone on the lead card with a putt.
There were only 10 birdies on this hole today, so impressive that everyone got to circle 1. Only 13 people total got to circle 1 in regulation.
Natalie with a perfect birdie start. And it's sure looking like a star frame, isn't it, Holyn? Good putt.
Yeah, really showing us that distance was truly an advantage this week. I know it always is, but
Particularly at this course,
Yep.
even more than the other one.
totally. Star frame $25 to Edge Disc Golf. Two down through 2 is a strong start at Ivy Hill. It's nice to get a little buffer before you get into the tough holes. Hole 3, a good example of a birdie that everyone's hoping to get. On paper, it looks really easy at 714 feet, and it's definitely one of the friendlier holes out here, but that approach is still very difficult. We watched Kristen Tatar birdie this one, making that long circle 1 edge putt. You can see that OB wrapping in tight on the right side. Makes throwing the hyzer a little bit scary. And that close OB line on the left side, it's, I think, just inside the circle on that side as well, so you can't come in too hot.
Speaking of coming in too hot,
Yeah.
Holyn just always has the most aggressive body language for throwing. It just seems like she's going to throw 500 feet every time. And that's a fantastic first shot. Looks like she went ESP Captain's Thrasher today.
Natalie just barely getting under that guardian tree high. Also throwing the disc so far down this fairway.
Halo Destroyer for Natalie. Oh. Looks like Kat's going Destroyer as well.
Great disc that you can just throw at that back line and trust it's going to hyzer in.
Some really phenomenal tee shots here. Getting that little bit of extra distance makes that second shot more manageable, more of an approach shot versus a full power drive. Eveliina, Halo Destroyer.
Just out driving everybody.
Natalie's a little farther than her.
dang.
But they're all, I mean, those are all so far. Like, usually this is kind of a split the hole in half kind of a hole, but
Yep.
this is...
Cat pulling out, it looks like a rhino or a pig.
Yeah, they got to be at 300 or maybe just inside, right?
And she's now inside the bullseye.
Holyn kind of hanging it out over that OB, fading in nicely.
Yeah, also throwing a slower speed disc. Not worrying about the ground reaction in any way. Eveliina with a really overstable disc.
Yeah, she really trusts that thing out wide, and she'll have a bit of a tester. Natalie going pure hyzer. Checks up nicely.
It was 100% humidity this morning. The grass was absolutely drenched.
I feel like her body language says it all there. Holyn, just trying to start off with a turkey here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Strong start.
Yeah, she didn't have to share that lead for very long, did she? Cat Mertsch also looking very confident out here. Natalie with a turkey. Eveliina not playing bad, but already 3 strokes off the lead. Looks like Holyn and Natalie are tied for the hot round so far at a perfect 3 down through 3.
Moving on to hole 4, 392 feet, but sharply downhill.
Par 3, you are shooting over the hazard area that extends all the way to these hay bales. So if you want to get in bounds, usually you're throwing something pretty hard and landing just before the hay bales and trying to barely skip over it. You can see there's out of bounds directly behind it to the right, water line, cart path left. There's OB everywhere, and then there's hazard inside it. There is a small layup zone, but it doesn't really feel worth it. I think most of these players at the top are just going to be trying to send it. If you don't land inbounds at all, it's a mandatory drop zone. So Holyn, even with that perfect shot drop zone, really bummer to see it. You can see she kind of just shrugs. If you land in the hazard, however, obviously you take it where it lies, and you might have a chance to save par.
That was such a perfect shot.
I wish it was optional drop zone.
I agree. But I think then a lot of players would just blast one over the basket. They would have to like put a little bit more room back there.
Well, they could also just take the hay bales out, make it normal.
Yeah. Don't be crazy.
Yeah, you're
today,
right.
Erica.
You're right. Not today.
It's day 4.
It's moving day.
It's a moving day.
That was
Have your wits about you.
Great shot from Natalie. She skips over the hay bales. Cat with the rare perfect air shot and stays in bounds. That is rare. How many sighs of relief do you think there are on average per round at Ivy Hill?
Oh, so many.
Like,
so
it's
many.
got to be at least 15 per person.
You just watch
per
people
round.
just like, clutch their heart after every shot.
Stop
like,
breathing.
Oh my God. Yeah. Or they turn around and like,
That's what I'm saying.
pretend throw up because they're so nervous.
I'm saying at least 15. It's got to be almost 1 per hole, if not more. Eveliina gonna find the hazard. Here's Holyn from the drop zone. It's obviously not worth going for it from there. The OB's so tight. Normal OB rules from the drop zone, though. You don't have to keep throwing it. Natalie for birdie. Wow.
I like how she runs it in like that.
I love when you know.
It's like she knows early always.
Yeah. Good.
What a putt. That's directly at out of bounds. If that misses the basket or even just taps a chain, that is going OB behind it for sure.
Cat for birdie from deep circle 2. She's not messing around with that one.
Eveliina has to make a decision here. Looks like she's lining it up.
Looking timid on the putting green today, though. That was to save par from the hazard.
This plate is the most difficult hole of the day. Ugh, that drives me bananas.
Oh, I think it's a perfect amount of silly, honestly.
Oh, man. There was only 3 birdies in a Bloomroos from Circle 1, Natalie, Ryan, and Katka Bodova from Circle 2.
What a fake out.
63% of the field with a bogey.
Yeah, not a fan of that style of hole.
That design.
Yeah. And Natalie Ryan, 4 for 4. We got a bird.
Oh,
name?
yeah. We're still
Hot
going to
day?
go with the, I like the catbird.
Yeah?
Gray catbird.
Great catbird.
It's going to stick around
Okay.
here at Ivy Hill.
Here to stay.
Hole 5. 762 feet. That sounds short for a par 5, but then you get here. You got a water carry. You're definitely thinking about, but most players not super nervous. You do want to try to aim that shot though and land in the flat area to set up your second shot up a very, very tall hill, but not the tallest on the property, but still very tall.
Top 3 for sure.
There's a out of bounds all the way down the right and left side. Nice wide open second shot. The third shot's where you're making a decision. Do I want to go for it through the gap and try to get to the green, or just lay up and play it for par?
This actually might be the 4th tallest hill on the property. Worth considering. Natalie with a massive shot.
Yeah, 4th. I think that's right.
Yeah, I think 4th is right. A lot of women landing, as Madison said, kind of in that first flat area. Natalie getting well past that. Looks like Kat's trying to get up there too. Footing is a big deal on this one if you're trying to attack for birdie. Wow.
Yeah, that's great. She is going to have a very severe initial part of her flight, having to throw up and over that secondary teeing area. But she doesn't have to get super aggressive on her second shot.
She doesn't have to, but she's Cat Mertsch.
True.
Holyn. Pure
Wow.
hyzer. Gosh, this is nuts. I'm getting ready to move into the commentary booth full time, honestly. It's crazy.
I land on that little first one.
Yeah, I was like right on the drop zone today.
These are very impressive shots. I wish I had an exact distance for you guys, but with the hill, it's so hard to explain the power it takes. But I would say every bit of 380 to 400 feet to get up to the landing zone that Holyn was at.
I think 400. And you can see how steeply uphill this is. Just aggressively steep.
Yeah, Eveliina didn't try to bite too much off there. I wonder if she's going to go for it on her third.
It's so hard. I mean, you got to throw so nose up here, and then with that OB circle in the middle, or what Holyn just did here, so easy to do. Juice it, end up on the right side. She can still save par with kind of a pretty sharply angled hyzer sidearm.
Yeah, not something that's in my repertoire, in my bag of tricks, if you will.
I will.
But there are some sky hyzer options up and over those corner trees. You can go backhand if you're more on the left side, or like Erika said, a forehand spike hyzer.
Cat just going standstill. Maybe kind of right behind that tree. We'll see what she decides to do from there. She's definitely far enough to at least think about it.
Eveliina for sure thinking about it.
Yeah, this is a really narrow path, but they're all far enough up there where they're probably not thinking about it too much.
Really nice little turning shot with a low ceiling and high floor.
The extra 40 to 50 feet that they're getting up here makes a huge difference in wanting to attack. Holyn, wow, goes from fortunate to unfortunate. Yeah, pretty, not a great shot, but not really a helpful break.
Cat chooses to just lay up, and that's
smart.
that is a smart play. That low-hanging branch just above OB there on the left side is got a lot of little things sticking down from it.
I mean, she could have thrown a forehand roller that bounced perfectly over that OB area, but yeah, all right.
Natalie kind of skying this forehand, but it works out great. Pushes far enough forward. Nice little touchy shot with a not too overstable of a disc.
Cat just chipping one up there on her fourth. Easy par.
It's crazy how Cat can make a par look bad, but like I'm like celebrating.
Oh my
pars.
gosh, par's great here. I was just gonna ask, did you already say how much over par this plays?
This one 0.3 strokes over par.
Okay, not terrible, but definitely still a difficult hole.
There was only 7 birdies.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
out of the 42 competitors that finished today.
And you can see Holyn with all of her distance still struggling. Any of these holes can bite you out here at Ivy Hill. Wow. Little golden sombrero on that gray catbird. I believe that's the first string of 5 in a row we've seen without
This week?
an eagle, maybe.
Yeah.
Holyn, after that hot start, goes single bogey, double bogey. She's back to even par on the round. Oh.
Yeah. This is this day even. I mean, I'm feeling nerves on the cut line, but can't imagine what it's like to feel the nerves at the top here, especially when Eveliina knows she's throwing the disc better than everyone right now. Her stats are just insane. These putts probably feeling a lot of pressure.
Yeah, definitely. And Eveliina won over par, but I'm sure the feeling better than that. That's so tough. After doing all that work not to capitalize on that birdie, I can't imagine the frustration.
Natalie 5 down through 5 with the current hot round by a landslide.
I think if I punched my leg that hard, it would stop working also.
My hand and my leg.
Yeah, hole 6 is a par 3, 341 feet. So narrow. This had the most out of bounds strokes out of any hole out here, which is just crazy. The out of bounds is within 20 feet on the backside. It's maybe 50 feet across. I think it's probably less than that the entire way down. The best play is just to essentially try to pin it, and if you skip out, oh well. The worst thing you can do is hang it out too far to the right, never come back in, have to take it early, and have a scary approach shot.
I think without that tree branch, Natalie was not going to come back in.
I'm not sure.
That was a
slow
scary
speed disc with not a lot of fade, it looked like.
Mm-hmm. That looks like it was a fortunate little break there, getting a nice skip off the sidewalk.
And she's safe, but a very dangerous putt.
Cat with a lower shot, playing a little bit more conservative here. I really like that play.
I hope she runs it.
And get this fairway was more narrow. It was widened a little bit.
Was it?
Yeah.
When?
On like Wednesday of practice. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
It did. Wow.
Yep.
I thought it felt wider, but also I was like, maybe I just got better.
Yeah, we're
in 2 days.
No, where it bubbles out right there where Eveliina went out of bounds. It used to be just a straight line.
Wild. See if Holyn can keep this one in bounds.
This looks great.
Yeah, she's going that Z swirl nebula that she was throwing all around the woods. And if she just skipped a few inches over in the grass, it would have been fine. She'll have a chance to save par, but
a cart path that can make or break you.
Gosh, this one just feels a little too lucky. Natalie, smart play there.
I will never complain about this hole while hole 4 is on the course.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. Okay, no, you're right. I'm complaining.
Well, I mean, critiquing. We're critiquing.
Yeah.
That's what we do in the booth.
You're right.
We never complain.
No.
Nice.
There we go. Look at that. Okay, I want a sigh.
Yep.
Counter.
That
a
was
breath of relief ticker, if you will.
That was definitely going to be counted.
Holyn to save par.
Whew. A little left side. Shoots through the back, but stays in.
And par is great on this hole.
Yeah, there was only 5 birdies today, and just over half the field parring.
Round of pars, no complaints here in the booth.
Yeah. Maria Oliva, Jessica Weiss, and Owen Scoggins parking this hole. Maria
Awesome.
was on my card. It was sweet.
Backhand. Well,
Yeah,
I say
backhand.
backhand.
Forehand.
Sorry, I was gonna say backhand slow speed with
Because
like a
of Owen.
mid-range.
Yeah.
Because of Owen. Yeah, did she go forehand?
My buddies and I just helped grow the global disc golf community. Check it out. We got our favorite shirts at Quirky Goodies, and a percentage of the sales proceeds go to the Paul Macbeth Foundation. They build great disc golf courses all around the world. I picked up 3 shirts for myself. This one's my favorite. Hey, if you're like me and you're always looking for a discount code, use this one, JomezPro 15. That'll give you 15% off. QuirkyGoodies.com. Buy a shirt, make a difference.
Hole 7, 342 feet. It's a par 3. That OB line on the short side of the safe area is very, very close to the basket, only about 25 feet away. The drop zone is up at the corner on the upper left side of this hill. It's not a putt that everyone considers running. It's about 40 feet, and look how steep that drops off downhill behind the basket.
These power players able to throw slower speed where the middle of the field is throwing often full speed drivers. This is a lucid verdict from Natalie. Beautiful shot. Cat, definitely a riskier shot here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hyzer flip just got out a little early and a little low.
And I would love this hole if we had about 20 more feet to the left of inbounds area.
Yeah, it's really good at maxing out the mid-level players' shots where you're worried about turning your disc over.
What a shot from Eveliina. She actually looks like a champion Thunderbird, so discs up a little bit in comparison to her fellow card mates. Fantastic. Also, if we just admire the reflections on this pond.
Yeah, I took a picture today.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Mm-hmm. Holyn, similar to Kat, not quite getting that disc to turn, and she's going to be OB. We'll see Kat and Holyn both progress to the drop zone. Do they not even know there's a drop zone?
Yeah.
Because they're so used to getting in bounds?
Yeah, because they've probably never even practiced it. They're like, oh, this is an easy hole. Cat running it.
Oh, my. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I've been a Cat Mertsch fan for a while, but even more so now.
Just crawling over the nubs. Okay, I ran this putt too. Like, there's a way to safely run it.
There is a way to safely run it.
But, like,
it's pretty safe.
It's pretty safe,
Soft
you're right.
for Cat's putt.
especially, but her hyzer putt angle is what makes me nervous.
Get out of here. Go on. Get. Just runs off. Oh, Holyn not messing around.
Yeah, Holyn, she's definitely been approaching the game of golf differently this week.
As a golfer?
Yeah, as a golfer.
I think actually that's true of this year. I think that's why we're seeing her win. Because she's not always hyper aggressive.
Natalie Ryan with a really great birdie. Now 6 down through 7.
Yeah.
Eveliina back to even par. There were 20 birdies today. About half the field got hole 7.
I like that Eveliina kind of jammed that one in there. Even though it was short, looked confident. And a 2-stroke swing means a lead change, and the first time that Holyn Handley has not had a share of the lead. Hole 8 is a par 4, 511 feet, plays 625 at least. Landing zone you can see there. If you want to birdie this hole, most likely you're throwing a backhand flex shot, or maybe a pure turnover, but that shot can end up cut rolling out of bounds left. Forehand is a great play, but you need a lot of power off the drive to then get close enough on the approach. There's out of bounds both sides, but it gets really tight on the right side as you get close to that final tree, which always seems to be in the way on your final shot. This is huge.
Huge. Very aggressive. Wow, and really trusting that disc.
Looks like that
That is
was
crazy.
a Triton squid. Very fun to say.
Eveliina committing to the turnover as well. Man, these are fun to watch.
Oh man, look at them go and go and go. Beautiful. Oh, where's Eveliina's little cookie smile?
I know.
Oh, she looks stressed.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. She's one stroke in the lead right now. Just think about how many putts she has not been able to capitalize on.
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
I just want a cookie.
It's hard.
And a hug.
It's hard to stay cheery.
Yeah.
Also, if Ivy Hill could take away a smile from anyone.
Yeah. Cat Mertsch out there nicely as well. Holyn also choosing the aggressive backhand.
Saw Holyn get tangled up in that tree in the first round here. Makes the correction.
Everyone looks tired.
Yeah. So there's like a high level of allergens in the air.
It's true.
It's the first day that it's been like hot since the practice days.
Yeah, it's
It
like
is-
90 out there.
And yeah, this is a truly grueling World Championships. It is two of the most physically demanding courses we've played all year. This one definitely is the most.
Oh yeah, those hills are crazy. But look at look at all these ladies way up here making this a simple forehand approach. Just wild.
Only 11 competitors out of 42 got to circle one in regulation. Everyone on our lead card is doing it with no problem.
Yeah, Kat will have a bit of a putt. Doesn't seem the happiest with it, but she's so close. And this is not one that I would pick out of the lineup for a potential star frame. Especially going aggressive flex backhand to sidearm chip shot.
Yeah.
Potential star frame.
Just a little right side for Natalie. Eveliina past the basket, coming back down. It's crazy. Definitely a more confident miss, though. Yes, it was on the cage, but it had some nice speed to it.
Kat with a nice birdie.
Holyn going to tie it up here on hole 8.
Two birdies from Kat and Holyn. And once again, we have some movement here. Now a tie again at the top. Natalie only 2 strokes back of the lead. She's playing so well. Kat Mertsch only 4 strokes back. Well within it.
Let's wrap this thing up with hole 9 at 651 feet. One of the more gettable birdies on the course. It's by no means easy, though. We also had a bit of a snaky headwind today. You got to land your first disc here inbounds in this narrow landing zone. Second shot, not easy. That OB line on the right side is very close to the basket. Also, the green slopes downhill towards that OB line, so if you don't come in flat and you get a roll, you can very easily find it. If you do not cross and bounce from the tee, the drop zone is 400 feet from the basket, which is wild.
Yeah.
400-foot turnover.
A little downhill, I guess, but so risky. Kat just going pure hyzer here, well over. But yeah, from there even, like, what do you think, 375 to the pin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems about right. Maybe a little less.
I mean, a little downhill too, so a little more reachable than that, but it's funny that this is one of the air quotes easier holes, because like that OB line's right
So
there.
tight.
There's OB everywhere. It's a blind shot on the second shot.
I'm calling it easy only because I think a lot of players can
know.
throw fairway drivers instead of distance drivers on their
what a
second shot.
Luxury. And you can tell that it does not take that much of an error to end up OB here.
The wind was a little bit shifty as the day moved on as well. It doesn't look like it. You can't tell from the flags, but that made it all the more dangerous. There was a little bit of a headwind here and there, and sometimes the wind would just switch 180.
Wow, love that low line drive from Eveliina.
That's like just the most control over your disc ever. She throws it right at the OB line and trusts that it's not going to flip up or turn at all.
Cat up first, trying to get a look at this thing. She hangs it too far. She's pushing OB, and she finds it.
Regular OB rules apply after the tee shot. You don't have to worry about the drop zone anymore.
In the drop zone, I think, as you said, it's optional. So Natalie got far enough where she's just opting to take it from where she last was in bounds. And she'll have a long and dangerous look to save a par.
Yeah, this is one of the first times we don't see Natalie going super aggressive.
Holyn, even par, even with 4 birdies, looking to get back under par here. Lovely.
Yep, she'll have an uphill putt.
Eveliina, I wonder how much she thinks about, like, oh, trying to get it close so you don't have to putt, because that's quite a tester.
Yeah, I'm sure that's on her mind. I think we've seen her, I would say, mess up her approach shots more today than we have in a while.
Yeah, you can tell she's thinking about it a lot more.
Yep. And once you start missing putts, obviously more pressure gets put on your approaches. You start overthinking it, really micromanaging how the disc angle is when it lands, and it just can affect everything negatively.
Cat trying to save par, comes up short left. That's going to be her first bogey of the round. Eveliina for a birdie, trying to get under par here.
So close. On the pole, just a little high and left.
Holyn also trying to get under par on the front 9. And she does it. And again, let's see, Holyn shot, +2 here in round 2, +5 was the best that we've seen. Even par or anything under is a good score out here. I mean, the fact that Natalie is, 5 under with a bogey?
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Taking her first bogey of the round. Eveliina staying pretty clean, though, with the putting errors.
Yes, but she's missed, 3, 4?
4, I think.
Yeah, I think 4. Had a 9, and you can tell it's getting to her. Holyn leading the way. We've had so many lead changes. Eveliina behind her by 1. Natalie Ryan 5 down through 9.
Look at Missy Gannon streaking up the leaderboard, 4 down through 10. Kristen Tatar also getting some birdies together as well as he moved down the leaderboard. Players struggling a little bit.
It's hard out here.
It is so hard. This course just requires laser focus. And you're on day 4. I hate to admit how much I noticed the fatigue out here after these 2 incredibly challenging courses. Yeah, we got 9 more holes here on moving day.
I don't hate to admit it. It's tiring. It's tiring out there.
Even if you're in shape, it's hard.
Thanks for staying with us through all of it.
Yep, we got 9 more holes. We'll see you guys on the back. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 Hot Geeks.
Hog.